Spurge here, and in this video we are going to break down the new REV'IT Monster 3 gloves. So this is a return to form for REV'IT, and I will say, for those of you out there that are old enough to remember the original REV'IT Monster gloves, they were a favorite amongst so many riders. They were actually the very first pair of high-end gloves that I ever got. I remember where I got them. I think I paid $90 for them, and at the time that was like, holy hell, I just paid $90 for a pair of gloves. But I used those gloves for years until they fell apart. I then bought another pair and I used those gloves for years until they fell apart. And I actually wore holes in the fingertips and I kept using them because they had changed them to the Monster 2 gloves, which I did not like. So this is the second iteration of the Monsters. You can see they went to a quilting, they went to a longer cuff, they changed the design of the back of the fingers. It just wasn't the same glove. So really what we're seeing with the new Monster 3s is a return to the favorite originals that existed back in like 2005, 2006. So we're gonna get into all the details here. From a pricing standpoint, they actually knocked about $20 off the price versus the old version. So they went from around $140 for the Monster 2s down to around $120. So again, a lot to love in this world of inflation that we're living in, and the fact that they could, one, make a glove that frankly I think fits, feels, and acts better than the Monster 2s, gets back to what we really liked about the original ones so many years ago, and they're more affordable. So just too long didn't read, you don't want to watch any more of the video. So far, very big fan of these gloves. Now from a sizing standpoint, sizes will range from a small up to a 3XL. I am currently wearing a size 2XL, which is spot on for me in REV'IT. I measure my hand at 9.5 inches. That puts me just between an extra large and a 2 extra large. The 2 extra large fits me perfectly. I did try on an extra large and they were just too damn tight. So I know what I like, and this is what I like, baby. So yeah, if you find yourself between sizes, personally, if you like a little bit more extra room in your gloves, size up, and that's what worked for me. Now, the main construction on this is going to be goat skin throughout. I love to see goat in the palm just because it gives you extra tactile feedback. This is going to have goat skin throughout. The closure on this is no longer this like loop through kind of little dinky Velcro. You are back to just a regular old-fashioned piece of Velcro closure. Works and doesn't give you any hassle or trouble. A little bit of a accordion stretch and elastication behind this. You got perforation down at the Velcro. You got this really great pull for getting the glove on. And then as you take a look at the back of the hand, this is where you lose the quilting, which personally I just never liked. And you are just back to some basic perforated goat skin, REV'IT logo. And as you work your way down, you have a little bit of accordion stretch at the back of the knuckle, perforation on top of the TPU knuckle, and that goat skin is going to wrap the knuckle, so it kind of adds to the overall just muted style. If you look at the old one, the goat skin just kind of, it looked like it didn't fit with the way you had quilting, and then you had the accordion stretch, and then you had the finger design. So I think this flows a little bit better with the overall style of the glove. Accordion stretch at 3 fingers now. You still have the extra padding, the little foam padding at the back of your index, your middle, and your ring finger. I would probably lose that. I like it better with just clean lines in the back. I don't feel like I need that extra padding there. However, from a protection standpoint, it does give you a little bit of extra protection. And you are now getting the perforated goat on the fourchettes of the finger. When we say fourchettes, we're talking about the inside of the fingers there. So that is back. Did not exist in the old one. So again, really, for those of you out there that just wish you could go find an original pair of the Monsters, this is going to be a glove that you're very happy with. Now, this is also going to get updates for a modern era, like touchscreen fingertip technology, digital goat throughout the palm, and then as you take a look at the main palm on this, a little bit of quilting around the main palm area. So no palm slider on this, just a little bit of padded quilting, and then you are going to have extra bit of reinforcement down the pinky. So when we talk about no palm sliders, this is really going to be an around town glove. I used it for touring. I used it for around town. I even used it as on my first track day. Although I would say at this stage in the game, you know, there's a lot of gloves out there that give you a little bit of extra protection if you're doing your first track day. This is probably not the glove for that, but hey, I was young and I was broke and I had one pair of gloves. But again, really true return to form from REV'IT to the original monsters. If you are somebody like myself that is nostalgic for, I don't know, 2005, 2006, when I got into riding, this is going to be a great blast from the past. So really excited to see what REV'IT's doing here. The other note here is from a sizing perspective, they really are back to what I liked with the fingers. For a while there, REV'IT was getting a little bit too narrow in the fingers, and REV'IT's one of the manufacturers that I recommend all the time for gloves, because they just do a great job with gloves. But they were going a little bit narrow in the fingers. This is kind of back to a little bit more room in the fingers, and it's just a more comfortable design without being overly bulky. So if you can't tell already, I am personally a fan of the REV'IT Monster 3s, and I think that there's a lot to love here from just a glove that really has come down in price, still gives you all the protection of a full leather glove, very simple and clean in its design lines, no longer a longer kind of cuff mid-gauntlet. This is now back to just being a short cuff glove. A little bit of room that fits up underneath your jacket. There's a lot of folks out there, they're going to be utilizing this glove, using this glove, riding with this glove, enjoying this glove. If you want to hear more about what they have to say, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. You can read other rider reviews from folks that are already putting the Monster 3 gloves through their paces. And if you have more questions for us, you can always reach out to one of our customer service reps, and you can figure out which riding gloves are right for you, your riding style, as well as your budget. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the REV'IT Monster 3 gloves. I am Spurge. Enjoy the ride.